Guys, I'm gonna break down the psychology of business. More important than anything else in business, even more important than your skill set and what you know, is your mindset and your psychology and your mental toughness. Because in this game, business is war. Maybe that's not apparent to a lot of people because of the false narrative around entrepreneurship on social media. Start a business, life is good, make a bunch of money, buy exotic supercars, post them on Instagram and everything's fine. Guys, any real operator, any true business owner, entrepreneur is gonna look at that and go, that's a bunch of bullshit. Or they're gonna look at it and go, what am I doing wrong? And the truth is this, is nothing. That social media is such a fake environment. You cannot calibrate your life experience in business based off of your perception of other people's highlight reels and fake narrative bullshit about what their experience in business is like. Most of those people have not actually built a real company. My experience is that I've been an entrepreneur my entire life, always had a hustle. For those of you that don't know the story, check out my other videos. Lived a very crazy life, drugs, addiction, getting in trouble, should have died, should have ended up in prison. Certainly shouldn't have ended up a multi-millionaire, having a long list of success and accolades, and living, quite honestly, an amazing life. That was not the probable outcome for me. But once I made the decision to lock into sobriety, which was in 2006, very shortly thereafter, I started to get overwhelmed and flooded with dreams and ambition. And I wanted to start my own thing. I wanted a company, and recovery was very important to me because of my own experience in it. And so my first business was starting my home state's very first sober living house in 2008. I was 23 years old. I didn't know anything about business. I'm a high school dropout. I left at 15 years old. I still don't have a GED. I knew nothing. I really didn't. I just knew how to figure things out. I had a ton of common sense. I knew how to embrace deductive reasoning, and I knew how to look at other people and other operations and see what was working and what wasn't working and copy that and replicate things. A very important skill set is being able to learn from other people. But what nobody told me at 23 years old, starting that business, is what the next 20 years were gonna look like. 18 to be exact. Nobody told me when I started out that business was absolute war, that it was gonna be incredibly hard. And so I wanna make this video, and I want to get to you guys that you're not alone in the stuff you're going through in starting, building, and scaling your companies. And I've been at every single level, all the way up to running a business that had over $100 million valuation and was doing $50+ million a year in revenue and had 325 employees. So, I am capped at some experience, but most likely that is further down the path of business than most of the people that watch this have made it to. Mental toughness and personal development, meaning an intentional focus on building yourself, building your heart, your spirit, your internal assets, even your physical body, is so important to business. Because business, this game, I always talk about it as a game, and it really is gonna fucking test you. You are gonna have never-ending test days where some shit's gonna happen. There's gonna be some crisis that you have to pivot through. There's gonna be some extreme stress, extreme pressure that you have to navigate over and over and over and over again. And what you're made of, how much heart you got, how much you can take, what you can endure and make it through to the other side. It is the most important thing in starting, scaling, growing, and operating a company. More than 90% of businesses, they say, fail within the first 5 years. And I think it's like only 2% of businesses ever do more than $1 million a year in net revenue and profit. And I really earnestly, wholeheartedly believe that that is because this game is so hard. I think in those numbers, there's countless people that started off with a high degree of enthusiasm, super excited, having a dream. We're gonna start a business. Nobody does that nonchalant. They do that with a lot of gusto, right? But then they get beat the fuck down. And they get beaten so hard that they succumb. And they give up. And they tap. And that is why just being able to make it through, survive the stress and pressure, it's more important than anything else in this game. You need a lot of things to win, but the other things you can be weak on if you're strong in this. It's one of my strongest attributes. I don't think I get enough credit for that. I have gotten my teeth kicked in over and over and over and over again. People look at me and I hear, how they talk about me, how they talk about my success. They talk about the accolades. Motherfucker, that's tip of the iceberg. You're seeing less than 10%. Most of this journey was me waking up, getting my fucking ass kicked. Instead of saying Eric Spofford sold his business for more than 9 figures and has had an impressive career as an entrepreneur and blah, 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 blah. I'd rather you introduce me as Eric Spofford has gotten his teeth kicked in almost daily for almost 20 years and he never fucking gave up. Because that shit is far more important. I remember in the early days, I had problems in the business with the local municipality and zoning, and a dickhead local businessman that, wanted to try to put me out of business, literally tried to put me out of business. I was in my 20s. This was a grown man with a real estate agency in my community there. And I had to survive that battle. I've been in the news a fucking 1,000 times. One of these articles is like, local businessman challenges man's running sober house or something like that as a headline. It's one of the proudest articles that I have, because I took that motherfucker to war, the town too, and I had no idea what I was doing. And I thought it was gonna crush me. And for me, I didn't have another choice. I'm unemployable. I've never had a job. I don't have a marketable skill set, right? So that said, we got the police behind us. That's crazy. There's nothing like trying to make a video and having the police pull up behind you to give you a little bit of anxiety and throw you off your game. Anywho, is this guy gonna pull me over? Oh, he's pulling off. All right, we're back in business. Guys, I don't care how long I've been sober and law-abiding, tax-paying citizen. Still to this day, the cops pull behind me and I'm like, oh, fuck, this is gonna be a bad day. Oh, shit. I remember, worrying to hire my first employee. And the first guy that ever worked for me showing up for his first day and me having no idea what to do with him. Everyone who owns a business, take a moment of silence right now for your first employee ever. God help him. You should probably call him and apologize. I'll tell you a quick story. This is a funny one. Wasn't funny at the time. I've been involved and had ownership and investments in a lot of different types of businesses. But as most of you know, my big business that I sold for the big number was drug addiction and alcoholism addiction treatment centers. And we had a cook at the treatment center. He was a chef or something. And he kept coming to work drunk at the rehab. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say you can't come to work drunk, period, especially when you're working at the rehab. So we fired this guy and he sued us or threatened to sue us or litigated with us, saying that we discriminated on him on his disability of alcoholism. Like we should have allowed him to come to work drunk at the rehab, I don't know. But you get in these spots and we ended up settling with him for, I think it was $20,000. Which I'll never do again, but it was less money than paying the lawyers, right? These are the things, the aggravations that you have to deal with, and every single level comes with new ones. This is what you need to know, is that when you conquer the level that you're at, you're going to acclimate to it. The problems of today are that are overwhelming are gonna become normal, and they're not gonna be overwhelming. When I have problems all the time now, that don't even appear to be problems to me, but 15 years ago would have crushed me and kept me up at night. And so what I'm saying is that at every level you acclimate to a new, what are these people beeping at? We're fucking, show them the traffic. Look at this. Look at the traffic. Look at this. There's cars everywhere.
People getting out of the car.
People getting out of the car. It's crazy. And we'll add to the party. You're gonna acclimate to every single level that you get to, and it's gonna become normal. And it's when you break into a new plateau, break through that new ceiling to a new level, that the cost of doing such is signing up for an entirely new set of problems. And the bigger the level, the bigger the problem. As you grow in success in one, the problems get bigger, harder to solve, more sophisticated, more complex, and generally just suck more. The game of business is not this hunky-dory, wake up, get my cup of coffee, everything is good. It is literally waking up and most days putting war paint on your face. When you're the number one, when you're the founder, when you're the guy that's ultimately responsible for all these other people, your product, your service, your employees, all of it rides on you. It is fucking a daily battle. And this conversation doesn't get enough attention because it's the truth of business. If you're building something real, we have all gone through this. So what is the solution, right? If we know that we're gonna get our asses kicked over and over and over again, you gotta get fucking tough. You have to get tough. That is why I focus on philosophy, spirituality, working out, eating the right foods, surrounding myself with mentally tough people. I have this entire recipe of things that I've done that have nothing to do with business directly, that have nothing to do with a money-making skill set. It has everything to do with becoming the person that can survive the pressure at the altitudes of where this journey is gonna take you. That's the difference between someone that's graduated college and someone that started and grew a business without it, right? You can have all the education in the world. If you can't survive the stress and pressure, you should get a fucking job like many people do. And God bless them, I don't blame them. They probably have a better quality of life. It's Saturday today. We have monstrous problems in multiple businesses right now. I have most of my team members, if not all, enjoying their time with their family. I'm fucking still working on the problem. So if that's not the life that you want to sign up for, then my friends, this game is not for you. But if it is, know that you are not alone. At a certain level, it stops being about getting rich. Anything after a couple $1,000,000 a year is just excess. You get into this area where there's this space that it just doesn't make that much of a difference in your life. But what it does do is it does help you become a consistently improving, growing version of yourself. That's why, I've had enough money for a long time. I'm still subjecting myself to the next level, and the next level, and the next level. And people come from a place of ignorance and say, Eric, don't you have enough? Yes, I do. I honestly do. I have more than I ever thought I was gonna have. But what they miss in that is that this game consistently gives me a process of acclimating to new levels, and that in itself forces me to become a better and better version of me. That's the fucking game. Business is a game of money. That is how we keep score. But it is a me versus me game, right? I wake up every day and you might be illusioned with, you think it's you versus the world. In a certain sense it is, right? People are gonna try to kill you. The competition's gonna try to take you out. The market is gonna try to fucking purge you. It's gonna try to put as much pressure as it can to see who's gonna break and who's gonna fucking make it through. But the survival of all of that is the you versus you game, that you have to consistently grow. That's why I talk about personal development. A lot of people are like, what does that have to do with business? It has everything to do with business, guys. If I wasn't tough here, this game would have crushed me a long time ago. I would have given up. So for those of you that are in the trenches, building real shit, doing real shit, God bless. I love you. I respect you. I respect your journey. For those of you that know that this game isn't for you, respect to you guys too, honestly. If you enjoyed the video, my little rant, as I drive through Miami here, getting my shit done for the day, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Let's go.